This is the book, New Mexico's Tasty Traditions, and a big New Mexico style welcome this morning to the woman who wrote the book, and that is Sharon Niederman.
Good
Hello.
morning, Nikki.
It's nice to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here with you.
Well, I'll tell you what, I looked through the book, I read the recipes, and I thought, this book is different. This is not your typical recipe book at all. There's so much more about it, and it is because it's a book about recollections, recipes, stories, things that have meaning, and there's photos that are fabulous in this book. So let's talk a little bit about it. Tell me some of the things that kind of inspired you to do it in the first place.
Well, first of all, New Mexico is my muse. I love traveling the back roads and finding those out-of-the-way little mom-and-pop cafes.
Right.
And every time I go there, I get so inspired. I just have to write about it, and I travel with my camera everywhere.
Well, now you grew up in the Northeast, as did I.
Did.
But you moved here, what, 30 years ago?
About, yeah.
Okay. So tell me, what was the original thing that kind of sparked this interest in stopping by these places and really taking note of them?
Well, I had a little difficulty when I first learned to eat New Mexican food, like many of us do.
Yes.
In fact, I had my first experience with that little segment of our cuisine.
Yes, you talked about that in the book.
Yes,
Very interesting.
And then as I went along, of course, I developed a taste for it, and soon the taste became an addiction.
And it
I must
became a
confess.
passion as well.
A total passion. And I know these little mom and pops and out-of-the-way places are really the places where you can find the authentic cuisine and the warmth and the generosity and the pride with which people serve it.
And you know, that's what I really found fascinating about the book, is that you didn't just tell the recipes of these people, but you actually told their stories and you photographed them as well. So how do you develop these relationships with people to get them to want to participate?
Well, I find, Nikki, that when I share my enthusiasm and my passion, people naturally respond, and they love sharing. And just like people love sharing their food, especially this time of year at the holiday season when it brings families together and they share with the community.
This is the time of year, and it's a time, for me personally, just really learning about New Mexico and being enchanted, literally enchanted, with the cities that I've been to so far. And the people they really want to share their stories. I love that.
Do. And those stories, you can't find them anywhere. In other words, you can't make this stuff up.
No.
They are wonderful, and they tie to their family stories, their recollections, as you say, and their memories and their love of what they are doing.
Well, I think it was page 34, right? 34 is the chapter that we had talked about, the holy chili and a mule called El Macho. That's one of my favorite chapters. Tell us a little bit about some of the things, like this particular chapter, and give people an idea of what they can expect when they read something like that.
Yes, indeed. Well, the lady who has the mule called El Macho up in Chimayo is a lady I met at the Taos Farmers Market, and I love to go to our farmers markets all summer long, all over the state.
Sure.
And she invited me to her home. She's a lady who left New Mexico, and she had to come back. And when she did, she started farming her grandmother's 6 acres with a very highly intelligent and trained mule, where she grows the delicious, unique, authentic Chimayo chilies and dried flowers to dry for her arrangements. And
which is perfect for today's cooking segment, of course.
And when she runs that mule, she doesn't have to take any more aerobics classes, let me tell you.
It's a workout. So you don't have to feel guilty about all the food you're going to eat, which is really lovely.
It's lovely.
And
it's
you know
lovely.
What? I also really enjoyed it. This is something to note about the book as well. You also provide a lot of different ethnic traditions, including even things like potato latkes for Hanukkah. And I mean, there's so much diversity in this book.
And that's really was my goal. And that's because that's what I found as I traveled around the state. I encountered the cowboy cooking, the cooking out on the open fire in the big Dutch ovens when there are roundups. And I encountered the making of patisa bread, which is not really a bread.
Oh, and it looks
a cake.
good.
It looks very sweet. It's got all those good things in it, cream and nuts and so many good things. And you have to roll out the dough real, real thin. And I didn't know the origins of this bread, so I quested for them, and I had to taste them in many places. And originally I didn't know if it was Italian or Hispanic or what. So I found out that it's a Slovenian bread.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's just one of many interesting stories you'll hear when you'll read in the book, and you'll get to learn not only great recipes, but you'll see the stories behind them along with some really fabulous photos. And this is a great book, and I want to thank you so much not only for being here today, but for sharing your tasty traditions with all of New Mexico.
Thank you,
It's a pleasure.
Nikki.
And we are giving away a copy of New Mexico's Tasty Traditions to the very first person who can shoot us an email saying Tasty Traditions in the subject line. All you have to do is send this to nmstyle@casa.com, and we will be back in a flash.